I'm Tony Sklar with bnetTV. We're here at the 4G World Conference here in Chicago. I am speaking with Mr. Don Bowman from Sandvine. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you.
Excellent. Listen, for our seasoned bnet viewers, why don't you just give us a recap of what Sandvine is and where you fit within this ecosystem?
Sure. So Sandvine is a leading supplier of network policy control. So carriers use our equipment to provide a billing experience for their consumers, to provide traffic management, congestion management, and also to provide statistics and measure the quality of experience of the user. So we provide something that fits into the access network. In a mobile network, it usually fits between the S gateway and the P gateway in LTE, and it's subscriber aware and application aware, and we do policy control there on those factors.
So what makes Sandvine a better choice for carriers than other competitors?
Well, the competitors break down into two different categories. The first one is moving your intelligence, your network intelligence, into the access gateways. So this is Nokia, this is Cisco, etc. And what we find is that carriers need something that's access agnostic. They're moving from 3G to 4G, and they want the consumers to have a consistent experience. You need to be billed the same way, they need to count the same way. You may also have non-3G technologies such as Wi-Fi or DSL. You want a consistent experience across those, so you need to work entirely in the IP domain. And the other thing is, versus peer competitors, it's really just our breadth. Being able to do the measurement of the quality of experience of video is unique. The subscriber-aware billing, bill shock notification, just the breadth of features for us.
This ecosystem moves at such a fast pace, almost as fast as a LTE connection. However, that being said, how does Sandvine keep up with all the different types of data control measures and transport systems?
It really just comes down to investment in R&D. So, you're right, there's investment in standards, so moving from 3G to 4G, but also covering CDMA and cable and Wi-Fi and so on. But then the applications, while we've been talking, several thousand mobile app companies have started. Some of them have gone big, gone public, gone bankrupt, etc. And that really just takes you got to keep your finger on the pulse, and you got to do it in different geographies. Today we have customers in over 80 countries, so we have access to some of those networks. We get intelligence back. We see what's going on. We have a big team that keeps working on it.
Let's talk about what you're doing here at the 4G World Conference.
Sure. So this afternoon I'm on a panel. The panel is about policy control. I'm on it with a gentleman from Oracle, and we're going to talk about two complementary halves. Our system doing the actual policy enforcement, the charging, the rating in the network, and them talking about providing the provisioning of the policy to us through their PCRF product and their billing products. So
a lot of, let's say, providers, carriers, they use your particular system. Do they inevitably implement, do they end up implementing the proper systems to take care of some of the existing issues that arise by using your platform? They see that there's a problem in the network. They are trying to write policies at the same time to make sure the data is moving, the voice calls aren't being dropped, the provisioning is happening on a regular basis. But, I mean, can a carrier move that quickly?
Well, the carriers we have the most success with are the ones that are innovators in their space. They're usually in relatively competitive markets. They're often not the market leader in those markets, and they try harder as a consequence. So they tend to move faster. We try to go after opportunities rather than problems. So when there's a problem, they're incented to move very quickly, but there may be a lot of politics. But when you're talking about an opportunity, if I'm the first to market with this, it has a very, very, very fast-moving pace for us.
Is it a difficult challenge on education alone to get the carriers to understand that these systems do exist and they can be automated at a faster pace?
Yeah, a big part of our sales process is consultative education, helping people understand how other carriers in other parts of the world have operated, how the regulators seen that, how the consumers have seen that, what the end consumer experience was. What we found is that bill certainty, bill shock are really strong drivers for people using more data. Nobody wants to have a surprise. Just the other day in the US, there was someone with a $200,000 cell phone bill, which was, I thought, excessive. This is a month. Really,
that can be excessive.
It's
sure.
excessive. So what you really need to do is to help the consumer understand how much they will be charged, help them predict it. So what we find is that billing certainty, things like an unlimited Facebook plan, is a much better consumer experience than you pay by the byte.
Okay, well that definitely makes sense. And what about being able to notify a consumer if they're reaching a limit on their plan?
Yeah, that's actually another key one, is that, again, nobody wants to be surprised. In 2010, the European Union introduced legislation on this, and we've rolled that out with many of our customers there, including O2 in the UK. So they've actually made this an opportunity. So instead of saying, warning, you're going to have a high bill, they say, warning, we now notify see your roaming. This has been your usage to date. Would you like to buy a roaming pack? And this is at a discount. And they actually turn that communication experience into an opportunity for them. Here in the US, there's obviously now coming in some voluntary rules around bill shock. Right now they're thinking mostly in the domestic case. They're not really thinking about the roaming case, but that will come next.
Is there a good sense of increased ROI by the carriers who inevitably are using your systems?
Yeah, otherwise we wouldn't make a lot of sales. They do have very
tight... That was a loaded question, really. However, what type of ROI are we talking about? And where are the areas that come
So the biggest ROI comes when you're increasing ARPU. So you increase ARPU by getting users to use more data, but do so in such a way that the usage and the price have some relationship to each other. It may not be perfectly linear. So for example, with Telefonica in Latin America, we've launched an unlimited social networking plan. You know, users are using that in a big way, and they're paying for it. So the carrier is very happy because data is going up, and the users are happy because they're able to use their social networking. So everybody wins there. That ROI is much, much stronger than some of the capacity reduction or plans that are out there.
So it's not just about, let's say, minimizing network congestion. It's from womb to tomb, inevitably getting to the consumer to realize that they've got other options.
Yeah, our ARPU is the biggest driver we're seeing. You know, everybody prefers to make money than save money. With respect to congestion, that's around user experience. The reason we launched our real-time entertainment dashboard to show the achieved experience of over-the-top video was to show where they needed to add additional capacity to the network, to understand where there's a billing opportunity being lost. There's somebody that's not getting the experience they paid for and is not using the data and therefore unhappy.
Don, where are some of the policies, controls, and procedures next year? Where are those things that we're going to be looking at?
Well, there's quite a number coming around billing richness. Here in the United States, more and more operators are moving to tiered pricing. That's obviously been a big experiment here, and I think it's sort of a fait accompli. We're moving there. So we're going to see a greater richness of plans. We're going to start to see top-ups, more and more prepaid data, obviously a lot more multi-device plans where you have an iPad and an Android phone, two separate SIM cards sharing a same data pool, family plans where you may have other people in the family. You may want to have limits on how that gets spent between them. Consumers may want to have controls themselves over how much gets spent while roaming or which apps can access the network. That's where we see things going. It's really around billing.
And then finally, John, why is it important for companies like Sandvine to be at the 4G World Conference? Where is that? Where does that get you?
This is where we meet our customers. This is where we meet our partners in the space. I mean, obviously we're not as big as some of them, so we do have partners, and this is a good show for it.
Fantastic, Don. Thanks for taking the opportunity to speak with us. Good luck on your panel this afternoon, and congratulations again on a very successful positioning in the marketplace.
Thank you very much.
I've been speaking with Don Bowman of Sandvine here in Chicago at the 4G World Conference. I am Tony Sklar with bnetTV.